Joining me today for the latest episode of In the Conversation is none other than the irrepressible Ade Oladipo. Now, before we go any further, do me a favour, click the link in the description below and subscribe to Ade's YouTube channel. It is fantastic. Today we're going to be talking about Raheem Sterling. This is huge. This concerns my team. Ade, I'm excited. I think that Raheem Sterling is an incredibly gifted footballer.
Yep.
And it's getting to the stage now where it genuinely looks like Chelsea can have some confidence about signing a player of Sterling's quality.
Do you think he's on the wane?
No, I don't think he's on the wane.
No?
I think he's on the wane. It depends. I think when we have a conversation about a player like Raheem Sterling, we have to put it in context.
Yeah.
So if you're suggesting, is he on the wane from a Man City perspective, then possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Is he better than Phil Foden? Is he a brighter prospect than Phil Foden? Is he more likely to inspire than Jack Grealish? These are questions that perhaps have a different answer to the one I'm going to give. But from my perspective, a Chelsea fan, he's be far and away the best player in his position at our club by a mile.
Yeah, by a country mile as well. I'm surprised that Man City, and look, we're all speculating here, but, you know, there's no smoke without fire. I'm surprised that Man City will let him go based on the first season that Grealish had. Now, I don't think Grealish's season was as bad as people make out it to be. You know, especially those people that love a bit of stats, what the goals and assists. You forget how many chances Grealish created. But I still think there's a lot to offer from Raheem Sterling to that Man City side. 13
I'd
goals,
agree.
13 goals last season.
13 goals. Look, he's
13.
proven.
Yeah.
He's proven, but I don't think they need him. Yeah. And I think they're probably worried because there's 1 year left on his contract. So this time next year, he leaves for free.
Yeah, and he wants to, at this stage, what is he, 27? So at this stage of his career, at 27, you don't want to be coming off the bench. You want to be starting somewhere and starting at a big club, and Chelsea tick all those boxes. Chelsea are a big club. And look, you know more about this than I do, but look at who plays on the left for Chelsea. Timo Werner, Pulisic, maybe Mason Mount sometimes. On the left, he's better than all of those guys. It's proven that for England, proven that for Man City over the years.
But he's incomparable. It's not, is he better? It's not a conversation of, like, we could debate, is Raheem Sterling better than Phil Foden? And we could debate that.
It's a good debate.
We could debate that. We could debate, is he better than Jack Grealish? And again, we could debate that. But there's no debate to be had. Is he better than Christian Pulisic? We're not talking about that. Is he better than Timo Werner? We're obviously not exploring that. It's a given. If he signed for Chelsea, not only would Raheem Sterling be the best left-sided attacker, but he would be the best compared to any of the other positions.
Yeah, all the other options. Yeah, he's better than all of them.
Like, he would be a better left side. Our left side would suddenly be the strongest side because of Raheem Sterling's presence there.
Yeah.
So I desperately want to sign him. And City seem to have this policy, don't they, where as soon as a player fancies leaving, they seem to have a blanket policy where they say, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much to Pep.
No.
You have to kind of buy into what City are doing, and maybe for Sterling, buy in off the fact that we've signed a £100 million Grealish. There is going to be pressure to play him. Regardless, I know people will talk about City's money, but there's going to be pressure to play him, and you might be able to come off the bench. And Sterling clearly doesn't want that. I mentioned that he got 13 goals. He actually got 17 goals, 13 in the Premier League, 17 in all competitions, 14 the season before that. The reason I asked you at the start, is he on the wane? It's because 2017, 2018, 23 goals. 2018, 2019, 25. 2019, 20's best season, 31.
Yes.
31.
But
That's
that
when he
can
was
be-
literally, I think he might have got City's Player of the Year that year. That's when he was literally firing.
But that can be explored for many different reasons. And maybe that was the best season for his output. And maybe we won't see those numbers again. But that doesn't mean that he's waning.
Yeah.
That just means that he had an exceptional season. But he's still an incredibly gifted player for both club and country. And when you think about the fact that he has now been open to a move for about a year, you know, this time last year, do you remember when we were thinking that he could have gone to Barcelona? And he seemed quite open to that. In the end, Barca decided to focus on, remember they went for Ferran Torres?
Yeah.
So it's now looking like he's been itching for a move for a year. There's 1 year left on his contract. So City like to get a good offer for a player and then let them go. A good offer now is a bargain because there's 1 year left.
Yeah, but we're hearing crazy numbers from him. We're hearing crazy numbers. We're hearing somewhere near between 50 and 60 million. That's not a bargain for Raheem Sterling. Bear in mind, City bought him for 50 million. Bought him from Liverpool for 50 million when we had the best part of 10 years left of his career. Don't get me wrong, still young. How is he still worth the value that he was 6 years ago?
No, but if Chelsea were likely to pay 50 million quid for Raheem Sterling now, in the modern day society of football, that is a bargain.
Yeah.
Whether you think it is or not, or whether it's how it compares to what's gone previously, how it compares to the amount that City paid for him, City will be happy to recoup
Yeah.
the vast majority of
You know what it is about it? This is the thing, and look, maybe I'm wrong and you can shut me down. Or maybe it's because of the little rivalry that Liverpool have with City right now. I would hate to take a City player that City thought was surplus to requirements. So it's basically them saying, we don't want him no more. And bear in mind, look, Chelsea at the start of last season were considered one of the big three with City and Liverpool. In fact, there was a big four with United as well. But there we are with Chelsea, European champions a couple of seasons ago. I would hate to think that you're taking a that City say, yeah, we've got the best out of him, you can have him. I couldn't take him. I'm not joking, I couldn't take that player. I don't want that.
No, but firstly, you being a Liverpool fan and me being a Chelsea fan, we're at different stages.
Are we?
Yeah, of course we are.
Let's not forget where Chelsea were last season. Last season, when you got Lukaku, European champions, you were at a stage where this was supposed to be the greatest Premier League race of all time, and Chelsea were considered one of the best managers in Thomas Tuchel, a manager up there with the best. It couldn't have dropped off that far where you're taking City's bargain basements.
Of course, firstly, it can, because they say a week is a long time in football. Yeah. This is a year.
Mate, and 90 minutes is a long time.
Exactly. Yeah. Secondly, as well, you know when you say you're taking their bargain basements, the players that aren't good enough for City, effectively you're feeding off the scraps of Man City's table. The scraps are smoked salmon, man. If you're eating the scraps off that table, you're eating Chateaubriand. Yeah, you're doing all right.
You're in a Michelin-star restaurant.
Not getting in the City team, there is no dishonour in that. Basically, Raheem Sterling gets into every team in the world.
Yeah.
I'm talking every single football team in the world, with the exception of the team that he's at, the team that he used to play for, potentially Paris Saint-Germain.
And Paris Saint-Germain. Probably anything else.
I'd say every other football team in the world would be desperate to have a player of Sterling's quality.
Fair point.
So him not being good enough for City, it's comparable to Jesus not being good enough for City. I would be desperate to get hold of both of them. I think they are both fantastic.
Okay. Sorry to cut across you. That's an interesting point, because the articles that we're reading, I've got in front of me right now, say Chelsea's number one target's Raheem Sterling. You're going to lose Lukaku. He's going to go back to Inter Milan. Whatever. We'll talk about that in another video. Surely your number one target should be a number 9.
Yes, this isn't Sterling to replace Lukaku and nothing else happens up front. The reason I'm so desperate for Sterling is because I think it's the first of many.
Okay.
It's effectively a new era at Chelsea now. And that's another reason why, when you talk about who Chelsea were this time last year, that's another reason why we have to really put it in context. Who Chelsea are today is actually unknown. We don't know the Bowley era. We don't know how he's going to approach things. We don't know what Daniel Finkelstein is going to advise. We don't know how this is all going to go. It's a very exciting, but equally slightly scary time being a Chelsea fan, because we have no idea.
If he does come, and look, there's good indication that he will, you're going to put Roffa in, and I think City will let him go, by the way. I think you can just tell that Pep will let him go. Pep doesn't want anyone there that doesn't really want to be there, and you kind of question whether sort of...
And he doesn't need it. Look, when I say doesn't need him, right, you look, Julian Alvarez, Erling Haaland, Jack Grealish, Riyad Mahrez,
Phil Foden.
Phil Foden.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, you don't need him. Can you make use of him? I know what you mean. Can you make use of him? Absolutely. I like the fact that he can be deployed both as a winger and a false 9. I don't want to see him as a false 9 at Chelsea, by the way. But there are situations where he may have to be, and I like the fact that he can do that. Has a very good eye for a goal. He's Londoner.
He's Londoner. He's coming back home.
I like that.
Yeah,
he's a Londoner. He's from Stonebridge.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a million miles away from my neck of the woods. Like, and I know this is just me being sentimental, but I like the fact that he's a Londoner. So I'm fully in favour of it.
What's your starting 3 then? If you do get Raheem Sterling, your front 3?
I mean, it would probably have to be Sterling on the left, Kai Havertz as a false 9.
Yeah. Which I still think you can do. I know you stutter with it. You still don't like him in that position.
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't really.
I don't think I don't think Kai Havertz actually has a position on the pitch.
Which is troubling.
Yeah, very troubling.
It's troubling because I think what we have to remember when we discuss Havertz is how young he is. Like, he's so young.
Was he 23?
But he cost a lot of money, and a lot was expected of him. And I really hope that, having won Chelsea the European Cup a year ago, I thought he was going to use that goal in Porto against City to springboard.
Yeah.
You win Chelsea the European Cup. Now watch what I'm going to do.
Does it?
No, it didn't happen.
No.
I think he scored, 9? 9 Premier League goals. So no, it hasn't really happened. So, but he is still the best option that we have. And then, I mean, I think Mason Mount obviously needs to start for Chelsea.
You play Mason Mount on the right?
Or as part of the problem is, I don't quite know what the middle three is going to be now. I think Kovacic obviously starts, but Kante, people were asking some very serious questions about Kante that I don't really agree with.
It might be a squad player next season.
Yeah,
you know,
I
off the
don't
bench.
think so.
No, I don't either, but
that's what people are
injuries
saying.
Yeah, people are saying that.
Jorginho, you know, there is a new era now at Chelsea. Like, we've had a spine of, you know, Rudiger, Jorginho, Timo Werner's been about now for a while. Like, we've had a very different looking side to what we're going to have next year.
If you can get only one, play this game with me. If you're offered Jesus or Sterling, I think it's fair to say Jesus will probably cost a bit less. I know he's younger and he's a Brazilian international, but we know the English tax on players, English players. Who would you rather want in your squad? Number 9 through the middle, Jesus, or we know who can play on the right, so you've almost got 2 positions there. Or would you take Raheem Sterling?
So the choice has to be Sterling or Jesus. Who do I take?
You know why I say that? Because I think Pep would be silly to give you both.
No, it would.
Like what? I mean, that's almost an arrogance. Like, you know what? You're so far behind us. Here, take 2 of my starters from last season. You're not going to catch us. I think that'll be stupid of him. Who does that?
But he wouldn't be wrong. We finished 20 points. We'll call it 20. Finished 20 points behind City. Yeah. 20 points behind Chelsea with Leicester. I wouldn't mind if Chelsea... Like, if we decide to sell Jorginho and Marcos Alonso to Leicester, I wouldn't care. Equally, Pep Guardiola could look at Chelsea and
know what, 20 points, you're right. But you're just talking league here. Let's not forget, though, FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, Chelsea, dangerous.
No, Chelsea...
In the league, I don't think you can close that gap. But any other cup competition, with those 2 players and your squad being big already...
Yeah, I think it's weird, but it does happen. Like, I think when a rival is down, you shouldn't do anything to strengthen them.
Nothing.
When Chelsea sold Petr Cech to Arsenal because he wanted to do the school run in London, I was mortified because I genuinely at the time thought that Arsenal were a decent goalkeeper and a decent centre forward away from winning the league. Yeah. I thought we've given them 50% of what they need. Yeah. Equally, we did it when Manchester United were on their knees. We gave them Juan Mata. We gave them Nemanja Matic. Sold them.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
But you don't do that.
You don't do it to your rivals.
I think there should also be principle. But I do also think that it is arrogant, but it's also brilliant. And it's also correct. When a player wants to leave City, City don't care. They have a rule where they don't care. Ferran Torres, all right, cool. See you later.
Yeah. Sane, who at the time, Sane, by the way, who I thought was fantastic.
He is.
Fantastic.
He's amazing.
Footballer. Like, literally, I thought he was going to be, still is, but I thought he was going to be world level. Like, Rapid. Do you want to go to Bayern Munich?
Cool.
Fine, go.
They don't seem to care. And in this particular example, I think Jesus and Sterling would be amazing.
You know what we've not seen them do? Sell to English yet. That's one thing. You look at all the players that you're right, that have gone, it's not quite worked out for whatever reason. They've never sold within the Premier League.
No.
This is why I find it interesting. That's why I ask you which one of the 2, because I don't think you're getting both.
If it were one, this isn't because I think he's a better player. No. But it's because I think it's what Chelsea need more. Mm-hmm. If it's one, I think it's Jesus.
Yeah, agreed.
If it's one, it's Jesus.
It's got to be. If Lukaku is gone and we're led to believe that he is going to go, right? Why would he stay? Then you do need that out-and-out striker.
Yes.
Whether or not he still is even that, I don't know.
See, I don't think City care. Look, they've signed Alvarez, they've signed Haaland. Their business now is going to be Cucurella and apparently Calvin Phillips. Yeah. I don't think they care what Chelsea do. I honestly don't. I don't think it's on their radar. Any City fans watching this, I'm sure they can fill me in here. I don't think Chelsea are really on their radar. I think they're looking at what happens at Anfield. Yeah. I think they're looking at what goes on at Anfield. I think they probably keep an eye on what's going on at the European elites.
Mate, can I be honest with you? I think they're mental.
City?
Yeah, I think they're mental. Don't get me wrong, look, Haaland could be incredible in the Premier League. Like, it could be crazy. It could be Ruud van Nistelrooy.
It could be 30 goals.
Could be 30. It could be something like that. But in Jesus and Sterling, you're letting 30 goals from last season go. 30. Jesus got 13 in all competitions. Sterling, you just heard say 17. You're letting 30. They struggled. Remember last season we were saying, they look like they're struggling for a goal. Don't get me wrong, they still scored bag loads. But it wasn't the City of old. Mahrez was their top goal scorer, wasn't he?
But they must believe that Alvarez, Haaland, Cole Palmer, the players that are going to be coming through. Mahrez is going to stay and he's always good for a goal. Jack Grealish
will get you 10 plus.
They'll believe that Grealish is going to be the player that I said he would be. Yeah. They will believe that, obviously. Phil Foden's development needs to continue.
Yeah, kind of stagnated just a little bit.
I don't think he had a great season last year.
No, it does. Like, maybe it wasn't what we thought it was, but I don't remember it. As opposed to the season before, which I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, so look, I don't think that they need to be too bothered. Foden, Grealish, Mahrez, Cole Palmer,
And then you're going to get
plus
your goals from
Haaland.
Bernardo Silva. You're going to get
Yeah.
your goals from Kevin De Bruyne. They're all going to.
Because remember as
Rodri
well,
will get 4 or 5.
there's only 2 positions up for grabs per game.
Yeah.
So, they don't need to be worried. But from a Chelsea perspective, the elevation from Timo Werner or Christian Pulisic to Raheem Sterling,
Yeah.
the elevation from Kai Havertz as a false 9 to Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, look, I'm not suggesting that Chelsea can win the league next year because I really don't think that we can.
I'd stop you. I'd stop you if you were going to do that.
No, but what I would say is the team that is slowly coming together, if those 2 signings do happen, the team that's slowly coming together is Chelsea are capable of hitting 80
Points.
Yeah, 80.
What did you get last season?
If it goes really well, Chelsea could hit 80. I mean, 80 is
80,
huge
80
tally.
is huge. Obviously,
tally.
like you need 100 to win the league, but 80 is very good. And what you're getting, more importantly, with these 2, winners.
Yes.
When we talked about Jesse Lingard going to West Ham and he brings a winner's mentality because he's obviously been at United and won a couple of things, you bring people that expect to win the Premier League every season. Wherever or not you do at Chelsea, you're bringing in winners. That's big. That's big.
And just having that around the club is very good. And knowing the Premier League is what Chelsea need. Yeah. So if Chelsea sign Raheem Sterling, I'll be over the moon. What I find very comical is Chelsea fans. I mean, I do my best to stay off Twitter, but you follow certain accounts and have a look on there now and again. Some Chelsea fans are really put out at the prospect of signing Sterling. And I feel like saying, firstly, who do you think we are to turn down a player of Sterling's quality?
Yeah.
And secondly, have you seen Raheem Sterling play football? Raheem Sterling on song, he's got a quality that I love because it's petrifying for a defender and it's electrifying for a supporter.
Yeah.
Like, when he's playing well, and I appreciate that there are times when he's not, but if he is playing well, if you're in Stamford Bridge and he picks the ball up, this could be the moment. It could be now. It could be now. This when it happens. With Jorginho when he picks the ball up, it's not now.
What it is? It's weird you say that. I remember, obviously, I went to go and watch Man City versus Liverpool, and the only ticket I could get was in a Man City. And remember, I told you this. Sterling started that game, mate. The whispers around Sterling, just the noise around, the constant groans of the first touch. Like I'm not joking. Loads of City fans around me, and I'm not saying they speak for everyone at City, but a load of them were like, "Oh God, his time's up in it." Like they're not fighting. Like the City fans are not going to be upset.
No, I don't think
with Sterling going. Yeah.
I think they look at him very fondly. They appreciate what he's done for the club, but I don't think they'll be crying if he leaves.
No.
And I understand why. I don't think they're wrong. I think they're right about Gabriel Jesus, but not being good enough for City is very different to not being good enough for Chelsea. And not being good enough for City, you can be world class. Yeah. I'm not suggesting Raheem Sterling is world class. I think he's a really, really good player.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's quite in the world class category. But you could have a situation where a world class player. They nearly let Bernardo Silva go last year.
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva could have gone to.
Even this season, they're talking about Barcelona with him.
No, Gundogan.
Yeah.
He's off.
Yeah.
Zinchenko, potentially. Like they let brilliant players go because they have so many brilliant players.
Yeah.
But look, if Chelsea signs Sterling, I will be elated. Do you agree, from a neutral's point of view here, do you agree that it would be a good signing for Chelsea?
Yeah, because I think, and you summed it up at the start, is he better than Pulisic? Obviously. Yes. Although there's something about Pulisic I still like. Remember, I used to joke about him being the next Eden Hazard. Obviously not. More than Hazard now, actually. Is he better than Timo Werner? Obviously. Is he a goal threat? Yes. He's got more goals than both of those guys combined.
Can Arsenal rock the boat for us here? Can Arsenal are heavily linked with Jesus.
Yeah.
Surely they'd be looking at Sterling. Although they've got a lot of that.
They've got
style
Martinelli
of
on that left.
Yeah.
Emil Smith-Rowe on the left. Saka left-footed. He can come in and do a job if they need to be on the left.
They've got players.
And they're young, ain't they? What's the average age of them? 21?
Yeah.
That lot. So I think they've got enough. Arsenal.
If you're Jesus, do you go to Arsenal or Chelsea?
Arsenal all day long. Arsenal all day long. You know why?
Please explain.
Because if I have 10 bad games, guess what I'm going to do?
Start.
Yeah, no disrespect to Arsenal. If I had 10 bad games, I'm starting because what's the other option? If I have 10 bad games for Chelsea, just don't know. Like you said, I mean, you can do a false 9. They might try and mix things up a bit. But I think he's guaranteed to start for Arsenal. And I think Arsenal build a team around him No one's guaranteed to start for Chelsea. Chelsea's still a mammoth of a club. You're not guaranteed to start.
It's true.
You know?
Look, I just love Sterling, the way how direct he is, the pace. In fact, as good as City are and the players that we're talking about, you know, whether it's Palmer or whether it's Grealish, aside from Haaland, who's obviously rapid, that's what they'll lose.
They'll lose that.
They'll lose
it's
the
funny
option
you say
of
that. I was
pace.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
Mahrez has got a bit, but nothing crazy.
Not comparable.
Nothing.
Not
So they do lose. And again, if you're talking Jesus and Sterling leaving, then you've just lost 200-metre sprinters there. You've lost all that pace. And then it becomes more footballers. And I don't think Pep minds this. You think of Pep and his Barcelona teams, all footballers. Obviously, I know there was Eto'o at times, but literally it's players that get on the ball and are technically incredible. And I don't know if I can label Sterling as that, where I could technically, Grealish has got that, Foden's got that, Bernardo Silva's got that. They've all got technically good players. I think he prefers that as to pace. And that's going to be interesting.
Do you know what I've loved about this video? It wasn't the point, but what I've kind of learned through the conversation. The way that Man City are going to start next season, the way that they're going to line up, it's baffling in a really good, exciting way.
I have absolutely no idea.
Is McAtee going to feature?
I only know De Bruyne is going to start.
Yeah.
And Haaland. Anyone else? I ain't got a clue.
Foden, Grealish,
I
Cole
don't
Palmer,
think
James
Foden's
McAtee, are they
guaranteed.
coming
No.
through?
Foden's not guaranteed because Mahrez might have been their best player.
Do you know what we need to do very soon?
Go on.
We need to do a deep dive in the conversation on Man City.
Agreed.
Thank you, Addy. I've really enjoyed that. I think we've concluded that Chelsea needs to sign Sterling, and it would be a fantastic acquisition for my club. Thank you to everybody who's watched this video. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give the video a like. It's great for us to be able to monitor that. Make sure that you subscribe to Adeola Depot. The link is in the description below. And I will see you all on the next episode of In the Conversation. We're out.